The Century Media Podcast.
Hi, this is Scott from Earth Crisis, and welcome to Century Media's podcast, On the Record. Our new album is called To the Death. We came up with the title kind of after the fact, like when we first started, working on lyrics for the record. We were trying to think of something that we just really wanted to sum up the overall vibe and message that we were trying to put out there. And I think basically we wanted to just sum up that, the band is back, and it's not, a lot of bands come back and completely neglect the things that made them special. And we just wanted to let it be known, the things that we care about, we're taking to the grave with us. And we believe in veganism and straight edge, and those are things we're going to take to the death. And so we thought that was a really cool title, and decided that we got to work that in to the record somewhere. And we had an animal rights song, and it just seemed to fit really well. So that's kind of the idea behind where To the Death came from. It just sums up our convictions, and that we still hold true to the core beliefs of the band as when we started. We were extremely lucky and thankful to have I hope I'm not butchering his name, Tue Madsen, produce he mixed the album, he didn't produce. And we decided to self-produce. In the past, when we've worked with producers, we always felt like it came out great, but there was always a certain energy that was missing from the rehearsal space that we just could never capture. And listening back to our early records, All Out War and Firestorm, those records were basically self-produced, and though sonically they might not sound as clean and pristine, there was a certain energy that records like Destroy the Machines or Breed the Killers we just didn't feel had. The songwriting we felt was much better on the later albums, but the energy just wasn't there. So we figured, let's handle it ourselves and just pay somebody awesome to mix, so we'll get the performances that we feel are the strongest, and then we'll have somebody come in and really polish the sounds. And 2A was perfect. I've never had a mixing situation that went smoother. He sent back mixes, and they were perfect. And we didn't have to really adjust anything. It was a few minor thank you very much and and a few minor tweaks. We recorded it in the studio called Castle Recording Studios, and I had originally picked it basically because 2A said, the one stipulation I have is it has to be Pro Tools, specifically recorded on an HD3 system would be ideal, and that was the closest studio to Syracuse that had that equipment. So we went there, and it worked out awesome. It's a beautiful room. It was designed by, I believe his name is John Storick, and he designed Electric Lady Studios in New York. And it's like this little gem of a studio that no one in upstate New York has any idea exists. And we were lucky enough to find it, and I'd love to work with it again. And the engineer was this guy, Matt Wagner, who was great. They had excellent gear for us to use. So it worked out awesome. I was a little apprehensive going in there, but being in there at 2 days, I knew that this is going to work out and it's going to be great. Yeah, it was a great experience overall, and something I'd like to do again. If we do another record, which I'm hoping we do, I would definitely, do it in a similar fashion. I'd love 2A to be on board again, and I think I'd go back to that studio in Utica too. This record just really, the sound of it, I think just encompasses what Earth Crisis should have always sounded like. So yeah, it was a great experience. Songs came about in a little bit of a different, non-traditional manner than in the past for Earth Crisis. We usually what we would do is just all get into a room and bang out ideas, and mainly I would probably come in with a few parts, and then we would just beat them to death until they turned into a song. But now we don't all live in the same state anymore, and it's a little more difficult, a little more expensive to do it that way. So since we stopped doing the band in '91, I've written quite a few songs. So I had decided, let's just put them all out there, and we'll pick the ones that we really want to fine tune, and the ones that sound in the vein of Earth Crisis. And So a lot of it was done over email. I'd send songs to people and they'd say, this one's, great, let's use that one, or hey, this one doesn't work, what about if we did something like this? And then I would rehash it, and we got together a few weekends and worked on the songs together. And at first I was a little nervous about doing it like that because it was different than we've done it in the past, but I actually think listening back, I think it came out better because I think there was more focus to the songs, instead of trying really hard to incorporate everybody's ideas where sometimes the ideas didn't really work. It was more focused, like the songs were handed in as more of a completed song. It was a completed idea instead of you start off in one direction and then somebody throws a left turn in there and then you start off back on your direction again and somebody else throws a right turn in there. It's just a straight shot. It's smooth, everything kind of. I think the flow was a little bit better working this way. So it worked out really well. I think we're all really impressed with how it came out. I think we exceeded our expectations, so hopefully you guys will feel the same way. We went into this album really without, the goal was really just to create the essential be-all, end-all Earth Crisis album. I mean, we were able to look back on our past and really look at things that we thought, okay, these are elements of the band that really worked in the past, and these are some experimental things that maybe didn't work too well. And we did a lot of experimenting over the years with sounds and different styles of music. So it was actually really nice to be able to do a record now, looking back on that and deciding, okay, this is what worked, this is what didn't work. And so the goal was just really to put together just a powerful, straight up Earth Crisis record, like no nonsense, just stripped down, quick, heavy songs that got the message out there and made got kids kind of pissed again. I think music has gotten a little safe in some regards, and I think we want to kind of stir things up again and get people thinking and provoking some thought lyrically within the music scene. I mean, there tends to be a lot of really good bands out there musically, but nobody's kind of stirring the pot. So we wanted to put something strong out musically, but then something lyrically that was going to present maybe some new ideas as different than what people are hearing now. So yeah, that was just really our goal. Just let's put together the heaviest, most straightforward Earth Crisis album that we can. And so far, I feel like we've done it, and so far the responses have been, without me even telling people that that's the goal, that's people reiterate what I just said to me all the time. Like, this is just a no-nonsense Earth Crisis record that we've been hoping for. So I think we pulled it off for sure. As far as artwork for the label, we were fortunate enough to have Paul Romano do it. We had discussed a little bit of a direction of it, just on the phone, just not really artistic images, but more of an overall vibe and feeling that we wanted to convey with the artwork. And we talked about it. I didn't hear from him for a month, and then he delivered a cover, which was perfect. It really fit the vibe, I think, and the feeling of the record. So we were very fortunate to have Paul work on the record, and he's an awesome guy and an amazing artist that we all respect. So we're excited for everybody to see it. Make sure you check out our new record, To the Death. It's in the stores May 5th.
That's right, check out the new Earth Crisis album, To the Death, as it hits stores this month on May the 5th. Thank you, Scott, for joining us. And right now we're going to hear the track To Ashes from that album. Take it away, Scott.
Hey, this is Scott from Earth Crisis, and you're listening to the Century Media Podcast.